Hey guys, welcome back. So I'm kind of gonna cliff note through this because it's kind of crazy, but I didn't want to skip it. So basically, we went through the same sequence as usual for the true ending. Though lo and behold, instead of Gato going crazy, we learned that Santa is actually Zero. Santa is Zero, and he's planned this whole thing out. He's kidnapped June, and we are on the trail to him. Basically, he locked us up, kidnapped June, took Lotus, and was it 7? He took Lotus and one more with him to get through the 9-door. I'm here with Clover, Ace, not Ace, Clover. Am I with Ace? Now I don't even remember. But Clover, Snake, and 7, I think, are with us right now. That's the team we got. We made it to the library where Snake is telling us about the experiment that happened, the first initial experiment. It says the children who were put in Group Q were the ones who excelled at transmitting. They were transferred to the mock experiment building known as Building Q in the Nevada Desert. The children who excelled at receiving were put in Group A. So basically, he's telling us that Gato and his subordinates, his pharmaceutical team, planned this big sort of nonary game. This was the first nonary game that they planned, where they wanted to test basically like telepathy, supernatural powers in a sense. One team was set in one area, and the other team was like, and Group A's team were the ones that received the telepathy. Group Q's team like transmitted it out basically. The members of Group A were placed on the former hospital ship Gigantic. From the experiments he had conducted so far, Hungo had learned the following. There are 2 things that can increase one's resonance with the fields. The first is epiphany. The other is danger. Have you ever been faced with an especially difficult problem and thought about it very long and very hard until finally an answer suddenly appeared in your mind? It may seem obvious to say so, but that is what is meant by epiphany. The information obtained through that epiphany can be easily transmitted through the fields, where it can be easily interpreted. Adding danger to that equation allows for even easier field access. So yeah, these were the masterminds of the first ever experiment. Therefore, Hungo set up a number of puzzles across the Gigantic. Participants had to solve each puzzle before they could move to the next room. Of course, he hadn't forgotten to include danger. Oh, also, apparently Zero was, at least what they're saying, was a part of this first one? This first experiment? More specifically, he had detonated a bomb on the hull of the Gigantic. The children in Group A were forced to play the nonary game as the ship sunk. By forcing the children into a life-or-death situation, Hungo helped to increase the likelihood of their tapping into the fields. The children from Group Q, on the other hand, were confined to the mock experiment building, Building Q. Building Q duplicated the interior and the puzzles of the Gigantic exactly. Hungo explained the situation to the children in Group Q. Solve the puzzle you find throughout the rooms. Then transmit that information to the children in Group A. If you succeed, they will be able to solve the puzzle and escape. But if you fail, then the Gigantic will sink and your brothers and sisters will drown. Do you know why the astronauts of Apollo 13 were able to return to Earth safely? It was because NASA had access to a replica of the Apollo 13 capsule. All of the equipment, the instruments, everything, all of it identical. NASA was able to replicate the situation the astronauts were facing by putting themselves in the same situation. They attempted to solve the problems they knew the astronauts were experiencing. Once they had found solutions, they reported their findings to the men aboard the actual capsule. That was how they were able to return safely. It was the same with the Gigantic and Building Q. The children from Group Q had to use the power of Epiphany to solve the puzzles they found and transmit what they learned through the fields. The children in Group A, however, had to access the fields to learn how they might advance to the next stage. That is the simplest explanation I can manage. Snake sounded defeated. His half-hearted attempt at derision served only to show how much the story had affected him. Just as Junpei was about to speak. Hey, Junpei, Snake, how much longer are you two gonna sit there? Get down here already. Seven's voice echoed from up below. Snake took a deep breath and blinked rapidly, as if just waking up from a long nap. He's right. Let's go, shall we? We don't have much time. We need to get out of here and soon. Hold it, there's one more thing I want to ask you. Are you sure that there were 18 kids? Why? Well, I thought it was only 16. Oh, yes, that was what they said on the news, wasn't it? Yes, I have no doubt that 18 children were abducted and used in Hongo's experiment. After all, you couldn't exactly play a nonary game with any less, could you? Well, yeah, but are you saying that the news got it wrong? Yes, I am. There were 2 more children. However, they had no relatives that I am aware of. I imagine no one filed a police report when they went missing. They were brother and sister, like Clover and I. The brother's name was Aoi. The sister's name was... Her name was... Snake couldn't seem to bring himself to continue. It looked as if what he was about to say brought him great pain. Her name was Akane. What? That was the girl who died. Junpei felt as if he had been punched in the stomach. His vision went blurry and his head felt light. He couldn't think straight. Everything was blank. Had Akane died 9 years ago? If she had, then who was June? What? No, that was impossible. It couldn't be true. Akane wasn't an uncommon name. If Snake had known her last name, then that would have been a different matter. So they shared a name. There were many other people who did as well. It meant nothing. It was a different person. Of course, it was a different person. It had to be. Junpei shook his head hard and pulled himself back to reality. Is something wrong, Junpei? Your breathing sounds strange. Then Snake had noticed. Junpei cleared his throat and tried to act calm. Oh no, it's nothing. I'm fine. Let's get back down there, alright? Snake raised an eyebrow but said nothing. He headed down the stairs. He couldn't bring himself to ask. He told himself he knew the answer already, but he couldn't bring himself to ask what the girl's last name had been. With every step he took, the cold, hard sound of feet against metal dug at his heart. Damn. That's crazy. Alright, so I finished that puzzle. We need to find the key to that. Can I go that way, maybe? No, not there. No, I didn't mean to hit that. I'll look at the map. We go down. Am I not on the right side? Yeah. Right. What did you say? Is this Shield Drakes? This is it. This is what the shadow picture was pointing to. But didn't it say 5 at the end of the shadow picture? Yes, I think we need to find the 5th volume. And there's a button there. Came from the top floor. Alright. Let's get up there. Where did that open? Right here. 4 letters. Let's see. I guess you need to hit enter once you type them in. And you can erase. Let's give it a shot. 4 letters. Dead. Enter. Oh, that worked. Huh. You did it, Junpei. It's unlocked now. Good job, Junpei. Don't get too excited. The password was dead, remember? It just makes me think whatever's waiting for us isn't good. Let's go. Alright. Then it's the other door. Alright. It locks automatically. There's another door over there, right? There's a card reader next to it. It's got a red light. Yeah. If we find a key card, we can get out of here. We're gonna have to search through this room for a little key card. Oh man. It was filled with piles upon piles of all manners of things. Oh, this sucks. The Neptune key. Oh, right into it. Damn. So this is the study. Alright. Let's look around this study. Junpei, isn't this a nautical table? Yeah, I feel like I've seen this before. Okay. There are piles of crap everywhere. Man, this place is a mess. It's so messy, I don't know where to start.
Some of this crap looks familiar. I think a lot of these are parts of the puzzles we've solved in the other rooms.
If that's true, then this room could be Zero's laboratory. Perhaps Zero would shut himself in this room to devise the machines and puzzles. He'd need to see his plan come to fruition.
There's a control panel in front of the big screen here. I wonder if any of these buttons do anything.
There's something on the screen now. What's this? There are 15 cells here with numbers and letters in them.
Let me see that. Ah, I see. So whenever you touch a cell, the ones next to it turn on and off. You just gotta use that to make the all cells on the right and the bottom green.
Hey Junpei, I found this piece of paper under that thing. You want to take a look at it? Do you think this might have something to do with the puzzle? It's a piece of paper Clover gave me. There are a bunch of numbers and letters connected by equal signs. Just like she said, this is probably related to the puzzle on the screen somehow. Thanks, Clover. This really helps. Alright. Let's go back and try again. Anyway, it looks like I just need to make all of the cells all green.
Zero equals 0. 6 equals 6. This is gonna be hard. I seem to only be able to get like one letter. You sacrificed a lot. Gotta love when you're one off. For both sides like that. F is 15. So when you hit F, it knocks a lot off. 0. Sorry about that, guys. My dog kind of going crazy over in the corner there.
Buster, lay down. Go to sleep, boy. Good boy.
Alright. A L L A is 10, so I have to get... So that's that. L is what? L is 21. So we'd need to do... What does B equal? B is 11. So we need something... So that's A right there. F is what again? 15.
And then we just need to get A, which is 10.
I don't know what I would exit out to get that though here. In this case. Four plus 5 plus C.
What's C on this board? I don't see C.
12. And L is 21, so yeah, that would get that. Reset it. Oh, that did it. Okay. That was lucky.
You did it, Junpei. You're so smart. You seem to have done an excellent job and solved the puzzle. Just what I would have expected of you, Junpei. Hey, come on. You're embarrassing me.
Whoa. Don't get cocky, kid. We don't got time for that. Look at this. Check out the right edge of the control panel. The lid slid open and something came out.
The right edge of the control panel?
A cross emblem.
A metal plate shaped like a shield. There's a cross engraved on it. Don't know what that's for, but I guess we'll figure out.
Oh, here. Okay. There's 3 more.
Nothing's happening. Wait, what's Snake doing? I feel symbols engraved just above each indentation. On the upper left is the steering wheel. On the upper right, the cross symbol. On the bottom left, the mysterious circle symbol. And lastly, the waffle pattern is engraved near the bottom right indentation. Additionally, each symbol seems to have been given a number. 1. Steering wheel. 2. Cross. 3. Mysterious circle. And 4. Waffle pattern. Perhaps we need to insert the emblems in this order. That order, huh?
Alright, so we're gonna need to find the rest of these, though. Let's just tap a few keys. Damn, no dice. I looked at that. Let's see what happens when I... Whoa, well now, we've got something on the screen at least. What is this? Oh, wait a minute. I saw something like this when I figured out that Morse code puzzle back in the communications office. Morse code? Yeah. The dots on here look like dits of Morse code. There's 2 dots on the first line, 4 on the second, and 1 on the last. Ah, I'm afraid I don't understand. But perhaps you should give it a shot. Alright, I'll try. Before I do that, though, maybe I ought to run through the instructions. If I just tap the button, it'll enter a dit. If I hold the button down, it'll enter a dash. Once we enter our answers, it'll automatically determine... Yeah. Alright, so we gotta do some Morse code here. I should have remembered that. Oh, gosh. Oh, wait, go back. Damn it, why didn't I remember that? I'm gonna have to maybe go back and watch my video. Dot. Did that work?
That did it! See, it seems you have solved the puzzle, Junpei. Excellent work. The answer was ice. How did you know? All I had to do was listen to the sounds the machine made. After that, it was trivial. It was a trivial matter to decode them. Ah, yes. I believe I heard a noise from somewhere on the right.
Yeah, this is another emblem, isn't it?
I hear a noise from the back of this device, rather like metal striking wood or something.
Alright, grab the emblem. Got the code emblem. Let's look at this one, then. What is this?
Junpei, it looks like there's a compass on here. Now I get it. What do you mean? I guess you weren't there, Clover, but I solved the puzzle like this one. In the wheelhouse. I think I just need to do the same thing here. The same thing? The important part is this nautical table we just found. I just have to match up the directions on the compass with the lines on the nautical table. I used the steering wheel in the wheelhouse, but this time I think I'm gonna use the wheel attached to the side here. Okay, then show me how. Of course. Maybe I ought to run through the instructions. Alright. This looks like it probably works the same way the steering wheel in the wheelhouse did. If I just touch the direction I want it to turn to the compass will turn that direction. Then I just gotta press stop when the compass is pointing where I want it to. I'm betting something will happen if I can do that right. Alright, let's do this.
Alright, so I guess we're trying to get this path here. So... No, wait. We want to go east first. East. And then... Do they double back? Wait. Let's try this again. No, I don't care about the instructions. Alright. So... Let me try this. And then...
Did it! Yeah, you did it, Junpei! Good boy. He's a good boy. Who's a good boy? Ugh, knock it off.
Hey, we don't have time for screwing around. Check out the right side of the monitor. It's just kind of slid open.
Yeah. Alright. Helm emblem. So we're solving every puzzle that we did before. It's a coffin. I wonder if there's a vampire in it. Right, I guess Clover and Snake don't know the story. Man, I can't bring myself to tell them. Well, at any rate, let's have a look inside. Alright, fine, I'll open it. Okay, Junpei, you can do this. It's just a box, it's just a box. Oh, holy shit. This is a coffin, there's going to be something horrible in there. Okay, deep breaths. Here we go. It's nothing.
Shit, can't believe I was scared of something like that.
What do you mean, nobody? Were you expecting someone to be in here?
It's a long story. Ask Junpei about it sometime.
Well, just like Seven said, there's nobody in there. There is something in there, though. Well, two somethings, actually. What is that? There are two things on the bottom of the coffin.
Looks like we've got a plate with an emblem on it, and
The Neptune key. Yeah, we finally found it. Now we can get through the hallway. That's correct, Clover. But we do need to get out of this room first, you know? Yeah, I know. Okay, let's get the hell out of here as quickly as possible. I don't have any objections to that. Coffin emblem. Is that 4 emblems? That is 4 emblems. I think that was the amount that I needed. Let me see. What? Oh, no, I didn't mean to hit that. Where's, Is it this one? No. This one, alright. No? Where the hell's the monitor that we were looking at? There it is. Alright. Well, I put the emblem into the indentation, but nothing happened. The indentations are numbered 1 through 4, and they're symbols for a steering wheel, a cross, a weird circle, and some kind of waffle pattern. Alright. So this one. A steering wheel. Well now, we've got something on the monitor at least.
what's that?
Looks like some kind of puzzle. I wonder if these are the rules. Here, I'll read them to you. When you touch a numbered area, that area will be selected and it will turn blue. To indicate this, touching a numbered ball after selecting an area will cause that ball to move to that area. However, you cannot move the red balls. You can only move 3 to 5 balls into a single area. Press the check button once you have moved all of the balls except for the red, which you cannot move. The digital root of the balls in an area must match the number for that area. That's it. I still don't really get it. Whatever. Like they say, practice makes perfect. Let's give it a shot. Don't you mean practice makes perfect? Hey, let's see you solve the next one. Then you can make fun of me. Wait, didn't I say it right? I don't know. So we gotta get the digital root of 6. 2, 3. No. Should be what? We'd want to get probably 15 if we can, but I can't use that one. I can't. Okay. No. Wait. Let's use 7 and then 1. Maybe 8. Eight, 9, 10, and then 5. Check it. Oh, damn it. Alright, so, but what did I do wrong? It's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 1 plus 5 is 6.
That should be it. There's something wrong here. Can I only use 3, maybe? Eight, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I can't be, no, yeah. 13, 14. Oh, that's wrong too. Oh, I can switch over? I didn't know that. Okay, so that's probably why I got it wrong, right? I think. So if I do 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, wait. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then I flick over to here. And we need a digital root to get to 8. So if we do 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. How's that wrong? Can I not have... Is it where I gonna have 3? Because I don't understand what I'm doing wrong then. 7, 8, 9, 10... 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And I can't use this one. That did it. There you go. Okay, this is it, right? But nothing's happening. There are still 3 more indentations left to empty. I imagine something will happen when they are all filled. Doesn't that seem likely? Yeah. What was the next one? Cross, maybe? Okay, let's put in the emblem of the cross. Hey, Junpei, something just showed up on the screen. This puzzle sure looks a lot like the last one. Yeah, but there's more of those red balls you can't move. The numbers for each area are different, too. Looks like it gets the same rules as the last one, though. You sure you don't want to double check that? No, I'll be fine. If I get confused, I can just look at the screen over there, right? Anyway, like they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Words? Let's give it a shot. Isn't that a picture is worth 1,000 words? Hey, shut it! At least I'm trying, alright? Alright, so we need a digital root of 1. So I want to get 10. 2... 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That should be it, I think. And then 7 would be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. No, it's not gonna work. I need smaller numbers in this one. If we do 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And then to get the digital root of 1 for this, 8, no. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Damn, 10, 11? Oh, no. This is annoying. 8, 9, 10. Can I do it like that? No. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Oh wait, 1 plus 9 is 10. Yeah, okay. That's awesome, Junpei. There's only 2 left now. You can do it. Whew. What was next? Was it code? I don't remember. Okay, let's put in the emblem of the secret code. Yep. Damn, this puzzle looks a lot like the last one. Looks like the rules are the same, though. Don't you think you should double check it? Come on, this is the 3rd time I've done this. It'll be fine. So this, if you can't think of anything clever, please don't strain yourself. You might hurt something. Nah, shut up. Just give me a break, alright? I'll think of something. Alright, so we need 7 and 7. So let's get 8 in there. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15. This should get 7, I think. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 1 plus 6 is 7. And then this one... There you go. When you find out the first one, the second one's pretty easy. Excellent work, Junpei. You've only got 1 left. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Coffin symbol. Let's see what happens when I put the emblem of the coffin into this indentation. This is the 4th one. This puzzle looks a lot like that last couple. I think this is probably the last one. Once we solve this puzzle, I'm sure something will happen. Alright, I'll solve it in no time. Alright, 8. Damn, they really restricted a lot on us, though. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wait. Alright. Can't do it that way, then. Let's work on 9. Let's see if we can just chill over there for a bit. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, no, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Wow, this is hard. Eight, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I think that's right. It has to be like that. Alright, so I think I found it out? Yep, that did it. So you didn't have to put any in 9. Where did that noise come from? Underneath the keyboard? Way to go, Junpei! You answered all the questions! Damn, Junpei, good job! Hey, did you hear something just now? Yes, I heard that as well. From the bottom left corner of the desk, I believe.
picture? In the drawer was a single picture. He picked it up. It was a photograph of 4 men. It's them 4. So these are the 4 pharmaceutical heads that did the first one. We got Hongo, or Ace. The dude right next to him there looks like the 9th man a little bit. The dude on the right was supposed to be his right-hand man, and then the majority stockholder was the fat guy, who was also, coincidentally, in the captain's quarters. You find him dead in there, which is crazy. Involuntarily, Junpei's eyebrows shot up. He'd seen 3 of them before. On the right was a man with a mustache, the same man they'd found murdered in the captain's quarters. Damn, so Zero did get her revenge, or his revenge. He'd been wearing the Zero bracelet when they found him. Second from the left was a man wearing glasses and a doctor's coat. That's the 9th man. He was the 9th man, the one who'd worn bracelet number 9. Yeah. He had gone into door 5 alone and met an unpleasant end. Finally, the man on the very left, the man in the pinstripe suit. Oh man, that's Ace.
Yeah, I guess it is.
No doubt about it. Seven and Clover had come to peer over Junpei's shoulders. But what did it mean? What was Ace doing in this picture? Perhaps more importantly, why were the 9th man and Cap in it as well? As Junpei looked closer, he noticed the expression on each man's face. As Junpei looked closer, he noticed the expression on each man's face. Their smiles suggested that they were close, at least to some degree. But why? How? What was the relationship between these 4 men?
Yeah, because we didn't go about it the same way. We don't know that he was one of the pharmaceutical heads.
Snake's voice broke into Junpei's thoughts. You say Ace is in that picture. Yeah. It doesn't look like it was taken recently, though. Ace, the 9th man, and Cap all look about 10 years younger. Ah, so the 9th man and the man you found murdered in the captain's quarters are also on the picture? Yeah. Is there anyone else? Or are there only 3 people in the picture? I'm afraid I can't see. No, there's one more guy. He's got kind of long hair. He looks smart, but a little cold. He's the only one I don't recognize. Snake knit his eyebrow. What's the date of the photograph? It doesn't have one. Did you look on the back? The back? Yes, the reverse, the other side. Junpei flipped the picture over. There it was. To be precise, it wasn't a date, but it was certainly significant. Praying for the success of the Nonary project, with Saka, Kuboto, and Musashido. Nonary project. Nijisaki, Kubota, Musashido. Junpei immediately flipped the picture back over. That meant that the 4 men in the picture had run the Nonary game 9 years ago. Only Hongo had not been mentioned on the back, which Junpei felt meant he had written these words himself. But what surprised Junpei was not this revelation, but the fact that it felt nothing like a revelation. It felt obvious that their true identities did not come as a surprise. Was what Junpei found most surprising. Why then? Why wasn't he surprised? Junpei had just discovered that Ace had run the Nonary project, but he felt no spark of excitement or surprise.
Yeah, because we already knew.
It was almost as if he'd already known. Ah, of course, I understand now. Junpei looked over at Snake in his own confusion. He had missed the dark look on the other man's face. Ace was the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceutical. He was the one who invented the game 9 years ago. He was Gentaro Hongo. Ace is Hongo? Even as he asked, Junpei felt as though he'd already known. It was as if someone had whispered into his head that yes, of course Ace was Hongo. I had my suspicions from the beginning. Their voices were familiar, too familiar to be a coincidence. I could never forget his voice. It was the voice of the devil. I couldn't be sure, though. After all, I had no way to check. I certainly couldn't ask him. Even if I had known, however, I would never have told you. Zero made it quite clear what would have happened if I did. Oh my gosh, I had no idea. Huh? I didn't know that Ace was Hongo. Oh yes, I suppose you wouldn't have. 9 years ago, you were in Building Q in Nevada. But Hongo was in the Gigantic with us. I know. That's why I didn't know what Hongo looked like. But why? Why didn't you tell me? I mean, I'm your sister, right? You could have told me. I'm sorry. I apologize for keeping this from you. But if I told you, Clover, you would have told everyone else. And if you did, then I would have been forced to tell them about what happened 9 years ago. I had to prevent that. Clover and Snake's conversation wasn't of particular interest to Junpei. He still couldn't make sense out of this strange feeling of knowledge. He was trying to organize his thoughts when he heard Seven's voice. Are they gonna do some sort of weird fourth wall where, like, I'm one of the people that are kind of telepathizing to Junpei? Hey, Junpei, you think I could borrow that picture for a sec? He had no reason to say no, so Junpei handed the picture over. Seven stared at the picture and began to mutter the 4 names of the project's leaders over and over to himself. Hongo, Kubota, Nijisaki, Musashido. His brow was furrowed and his face was flushed. Hongo, Kubota, Nijisaki, Musashido. He chanted their names to himself, pacing back and forth across the floor. Hongo, Kubota, Nijisaki, Musashido. Seven shouldn't have known their names. After all, he hadn't been there when Junpei and Snake had spoken of them in the library. But as Junpei watched him pace, it was clear that he did know them. Hey, Seven, do you? Shut it! Just be quiet! His eyes were red, and Junpei could see sweat beginning to bead on his forehead. I'm this close to remembering. This close. He was sweating heavily now, but his lips were dry. Hongo, Kubota, Nijisaki, Musashido, Cradle Pharmaceutical, Nonary Project. Then he stopped. Seven set down the picture and looked at the red light near his feet. His eyes narrowed. Then suddenly his eyes went wide and he shot up straight. Shit. What? What's wrong? Holy shit. This is nuts. What's nuts? I remember. Remember what? Everything. Everything? Yeah. Yeah, I remember all of it. My memory's back. I remember what happened before I got snatched. Seven's voice was filled with excitement. Shock and excitement had frozen Junpei in place along with Snake and Clover. Let me tell you what happened. Seven hastily drew a shaking hand across his mouth and began to speak. Like Snake said, Ace is Hongo. From the right, the other 3 are Musashido, Nijisaki, and Kubota. Musashido was the man with the cash. Nijisaki was Hongo's right-hand man, and Kubota developed the actual technical details of the experiments. Realization began to dawn on Junpei along with a pressing question. How do you know all this? Come on, man, I told you. I finally got my memory back. No, that's not what I mean. I'm trying to ask you why you knew all this stuff in the first place before you forgot. Seven rubbed the scar on his chin. You really want to know? Of course. Me too. Snake was the only one who didn't voice any sort of agreement. It looked to Junpei as if he was simply waiting to see where Seven's sudden recovery might take them. This is gonna take a while. Hell, it'll probably take me a good 3 days to tell you. Everything. Well, we don't have 3 days. Just give us the short version, alright? Short version, huh? The big man pulled off his hat and scratched his head. He made a face, put his hat back on. Alright, I'll give it a shot. No promises, though. Junpei and Clover nodded earnestly. Seven was a lone wolf detective who valued his own code over the rules, doing what was right over doing what you were told. He was a detective? That was why on that fateful day he'd gone with his gut and gone to the wharf at night on a slim lead. It was 9 years ago. The wharf had been dark and cold and foreboding. Where had these 16 boys and girls disappeared to? At the time, he'd been investigating a spate of kidnappings, all of them children. They had all had one thing in common, a history of visits to one particular hospital. The hospital had been under the management of Cradle Pharmaceutical, and Seven's investigation had turned up evidence that Cradle had been involved in the kidnapping. After a little persuasion, he'd managed to finally get a real lead from someone inside Cradle. They told him that that night a ship was set to take the children from where they were being held to a large passenger liner docked offshore. Seven had of course gone to the wharf. Hidden in the shadows, he'd searched the harbor until at last he found the ship he was looking for.
Damn, look at Seven!
There were a number of human shapes moving near the ship. They were men in black suits. Many of them were carrying large bags. The bags. There was something about the way they moved as they were carried. There could be no mistake. There were human beings in those bags. He had moved before he even realized he was going to. Out of the shadows he came, his gun already in hand. He heard the words, "Don't move," but they weren't his. He felt metal touch the back of his head. "Drop your gun," came the cold voice from behind him. "I could kill you right now. It would mean nothing at all. I need only tie an anchor to your feet, and I doubt anyone will see you for perhaps a week or so." "Is that what you'd like? The fish here would be thankful for the meal." With the words he felt the cold metal thing behind him press against his skull. Slowly Seven crouched down and laid his gun on the ground. Then suddenly, he felt a sharp pain in his neck. A needle. Was it some sort of drug? As he was thinking about that, Seven felt his face hit the cold concrete beneath him. He could feel the chill of it seeping into him. "Ugh, damn it. Shit, my head hurts." Seven awoke to find himself lying on a hard floor. He twisted his neck to peer around the room. "Where am I?" There was a small shabby bed and a dirty sink. A toilet with no stall or privacy of any sort. As a cop, it was a place Seven had seen all too often. "I'm in a cell, huh?" Opposite the toilet was a door set into the wall. Seven struggled to his feet and hobbled toward it. He gave the door a good shove, then another, then tried pulling it. It didn't open. Well, that was about what he'd expected. It wasn't likely that someone would put him in a cell only to leave it unlocked. He threw himself against the door a few times, but to no avail. "I knew it," Seven grumbled to himself as he moved back toward the bed. He sat down. He sat there for a very long time, just how long he wasn't sure. At last he began to nod off and had nearly fallen asleep when he was roused by a distant voice. "There's over. It's 9. The voice was far away, very far away. Seven couldn't understand what it was saying. Nonetheless, it was a voice and a high one, most likely a child. His eyes shot open. "K-ing." As he listened, he could pick out several different distinct voices. There were at least 5 or 6, possibly more. Where were those voices coming from? He looked around the room frantically. Perhaps the door? No, that wasn't it. What? Go out. Was it coming from the left? Was it coming from under the bed? He grabbed the bed and flipped it up with ease. There it was. There was a hole for ventilation in the wall where the bed had been, covered with a metal grate. Seven lay down on his stomach and peered through the grate. He couldn't see anything. It was too dark. Now that he'd found it, however, there could be no doubt this was the source of the voice. For a moment, he was confused. Why were there children nearby? Then he remembered what the man from Cradle Pharmaceutical had told him. How a ship would take the kidnapped children from the wharf to a waiting passenger liner out in the ocean. Was Seven on that passenger liner? It didn't matter. What mattered was that he find a way to the children. Seven looked at that metal grate. Could he fit through that hole? He stuck his fingers through the grate and grabbed hold of it. There's no way he could fit through that.
Yeah, how you like that, you son of a bitch?
The dark square sat open before him. Seven wiped the sweat from his forehead and crawled inside. The first section of the duct was small. Seven could do little more than wiggle around on his belly. After a time, however, it got a little larger, and even someone as large as Seven was able to crawl along on his hands and knees. He felt like he'd grown from an inchworm to an insect. Not much of an improvement, but it was better than nothing. He'd begun to wonder where the duct would take him when there was a thunderous sound like a massive metal door slamming shut. Then he heard a voice. Warning, warning. Emergency incineration command has been acknowledged. Automatic incineration will take place in 10 minutes. Please evacuate the incinerator immediately. Repeat, emergency incineration command has been acknowledged. The voice wasn't harsh, but something about the calm with which it spoke made it even more terrifying. Damn, so this is someone made it to the 9 door. Since Seven wasn't sure what it meant, but incinerators certainly didn't sound good. Then, almost as if to confirm his suspicions, he heard a chorus of young voices. No! Help me! Many of the voices were simply screaming in terror, mixing with one another to create a single horrifying scream. Damn it! What the hell is going on here? Seven began to crawl along the duct as fast as his arms and legs would carry him. The noise he made was tremendous, but he was long past caring. A few moments later, a metal door appeared on the left side of the duct. Seven could hear the screams of the children from the other side of it. This was it. He grabbed hold of the handle and threw the door open. The old metal gave way easily before his onslaught. What the hell is this place? The room he was looking out into had a dome for a ceiling and 9 equally sized walls. At the top of the dome was an upside-down funnel. It looked almost like a chimney. Then he looked down. Oh, look at it. There they were. Children he'd been looking for. They stared up at Seven, their cries silenced for the moment by surprise and fear. Whether they were scared of the room or him, Seven couldn't tell. It was certainly possible that they were frightened of both. Not that I could blame them running into a mug like this when they're already scared shitless. He permitted himself a short snort of a laugh, then turned to the children again. Don't worry, kids. I'm not your enemy. I'm one of the good guys. Not a single one of them moved. Except for one. He was a boy slightly older than the others in a private school uniform. Who the hell are you? As he spoke, he took a tentative step forward and gave Seven a suspicious look. I'm a detective. I'm here to rescue you. The moment the words were out of his mouth, he could see the children relax. How are you going to help us? The boy in the uniform asked. Where's the exit? Seven responded. There isn't one. The door we came in through won't open, and the door over there. He cut himself off, considered something, and then continued. Anyway, there's no point. We can't all get out of here. If we don't get out of here, we're going to be burned to death. Burned to death? Can't you hear that? Can't you hear it? That voice said the incinerator's going to start up soon. The voice spoke again. Automatic incineration will take place in 15 minutes. 15 minutes. They only had 15 minutes. Seven looked back down at the children. It was a good 20 or 30 feet to the floor. There was no way he could pull the children up. That was when he had an idea. Wait right there. I'm going to be right back. What? Where is he going? Are you just going to leave us here? Seven did his best to smile. What he felt was a reassuring smile. Don't worry, alright? I'll be back. I promise. So just stay calm and wait right there. He didn't wait to hear them respond. There wasn't time. Before long, he was back in his cell. He was back where he had started, but he had a plan. There was something there that he needed. As soon as he was finished, he dove back into the duct and took off toward the incinerator. Sorry to keep you waiting, guys. Leaning out of the door in the duct, Seven lowered the rope he'd brought to the floor of the incinerator. Back in the cell, he'd torn the bed sheets into strips and tied them together to make a rope. Like Seven himself, It wasn't very attractive, but it got the job done. Alright, just tie that around yourself, okay? I'll pull you up one at a time. Right. Huh? Wait a sec. That was when he noticed. There were more of you before. Where'd the rest of you go? The boy in the uniform answered. I let them go on ahead. We opened the number 9 door and they left. What? You're telling me you opened that door? That's what I said. Then what the hell are you doing here? We couldn't go with them. Why not? Look, the only people who can go through the numbered door. They don't have time to explain. Just get them out of there, 7. Automatic incineration will take place in 5 minutes. The voice reverberated against the wall of the room. Look, that can wait, alright? Just get us out of here. Right. 7 grabbed hold of the rope. First up was a girl with a ponytail. Next was the girl with a red necktie, followed by a boy in a jacket who said he'd climb up on his own. The last up was the boy in the uniform. Like the boy in the jacket, he climbed up the rope himself. He'd looked scrawny from above, but his looks bellied impressive strength. He scaled the rope quickly, but as he was almost to 7, it ripped, didn't it? They heard the sound of someone knocking. All eyes turned to the door. Wait, what? Cut into it was a thick square window. On the other side, they could see a furious face. Ew! God damn it, what's going on in here? Why is the room empty? Where the hell are those fucking kids? It's Gato or whatever. Hongo. Looking like a crazy mother effer. The door opened and a man stepped in, looking half mad with fury. 7 recognized his face. He'd seen him many times in photos during his investigation. The man's name was Gentaro Hongo, the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceutical. Hongo saw the boy hanging from the rope. Rah! He roared like an animal and lunged for the rope. Oh no. Hurry! I know! The boy in the uniform resumed his scramble up the rope. You son of a bitch! Get back here, you little shit! He was 15 feet away. 10. The moment he came within arm's reach, 7 grabbed the boy in the uniform. With a jerk, he tossed him into the duct behind him. Ah, no! Hongo had lost any semblance of control. His face no longer looked human. It was twisted into something terrifying, the visage of a devil or a ferocious monster. 7 quickly reeled in his rope, leaving a furious Hongo on the floor of the room, and crawled back into the duct. You fucking bastard! You won't get away with this! How dare you compromise this experiment! What experiment? 7 wondered. Automatic incineration will take place in 1 minute. Hey, old man, what the hell are you doing? Hurry up! It was the boy in the uniform. It was the boy... hurry up! 7 tossed Hongo a taunting salute and pulled the door closed. There was no point to going back to 7's cell, so they continued down the duct in the other direction. After 30 feet or so, another duct met theirs, heading down. They nodded at one another, then turned and slid down the duct. A short time later, they crawled out of the duct to find themselves in a narrow hallway. There was a door on each side of it. The one on the left was a normal double door, but the one on the right was a familiar thick metal door with black and yellow stripes and a device next to it on the wall. On the door was a plate that read incinerator. Then that's where we were? Yeah. Hongo might still be in there. It looks like it's been shut off though. Wait, what? If he's still in there? Yeah, that's not good. Ugh. 7 grunted. Fine, the other door. Go into the other door, hurry! The children began to run with 7 following close behind them. On the other side of the door was a large spiral staircase. Run! 7 shouted. They didn't need to be told twice. Up and up and up they went. Their feet pounded against the steps and their arms churned the air. Round and round and round they went like a human tornado. The stairway kept going. They'd passed a couple of rooms that looked to be dance halls when the boys in the uniform spoke. Something's up. Akane's not catching up to us. Akane? My kid sister. The girl with the red necktie. Akane. That was strange. 7 didn't remember seeing that name in the list of children who'd gone missing. Hey! Akane! He cupped his hands around his mouth and yelled. There was no response. Maybe we ran her. Suddenly, the boy in the uniform stopped short. Seven stopped too, as did the boy in the jacket and the ponytailed girl. When did we do that? Well, we passed a couple big rooms on the way here. Maybe she took a rest on one of them. No, that's impossible. Sorry, Grandpa, you keep going. I gotta go look for her downstairs. He turned to go. Hey, kid, wait. God damn it, I said wait. The boy didn't even seem to hear him. Fuck. Seven spun around and yelled to the boy in the jacket and the girl with the ponytail. I'm going after him. You two keep going, alright? You got it? The girl nodded and began to run up the stairs. The boy, however, I'm going with you. Seven didn't have time to argue. Instead, he simply nodded and took off down the stairs. The boy in the jacket followed. They ran all the way to the bottom floor, calling for Akane. She was nowhere to be found. God damn it, where the hell did she go? The boy in the uniform couldn't hide his frustration. Help me, somebody help me. It was a girl's voice. Akane! The boy in the uniform threw open the door and leapt into the hallway that faced the incinerator. Seven and the boy in the jacket followed. Seven couldn't believe what he saw. He had her. Hongo had grabbed Akane by the arm and was doing his utmost to force her into the incinerator. Come on, goddammit, move! No, I don't want to. Let me go. Please, let go of me. She had planted her feet squarely on the floor and was doing her best to get away, but Hongo was much larger than she was. She wasn't going to win. Akane! The boy in the uniform shouted. He roared with anger and charged toward Hongo. You came back! You're too late, idiot! Hongo lifted Akane's bodily from her feet and threw her struggling into the incinerator. Ah! Before Seven or the boy in the uniform could react, Hongo leapt through the door after her. He saw him land inside. So he died? Then how is Ace here? I don't understand. And then the door slammed shut with the finality of a great steel guillotine. The three of them ran to the door. They pulled and strained, trying desperately to get it open. Ah! Fuck, it's no use. The goddamn thing won't move an inch. The boy in the uniform cried out and began to slam his fist against the door. He hit it with such force, Seven feared his knuckles would shatter from the impact. Akane! Akane! Are you okay? Help me! Her voice was muffled by the door, but the sheer terror in it was unmistakable. What should I do? I think I'm trapped in here. Where's Hongo? He went out the other door. What? Oh, no. Warning. Warning. Emergency incineration command has been acknowledged. Automatic incineration will take place in 18 minutes. Please evacuate the incinerator immediately. Repeat. Emergency incineration command has been acknowledged. Oh no. Are you fucking kidding me? Seven was at a loss. It's the same damn thing. Are you there? Akane's voice Are you there? Are you there? Akane's voice sounded close to tears. Yeah, we're here. Just hang on, alright? We're gonna figure out a way to save you. She could have seen the bloodless face of the boy in the uniform. His words would have seemed like little more than a sick joke. Automatic incineration will take place in 17 minutes. Please, please, help me. I'm really, really scared. I don't want to die. Please, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. It's gonna be alright. I'll figure something out, I promise. You hear me? I promise! They could hear her muffled sobs from the other side of the door. The boy in the uniform tightened his fist. His knuckles were a bloodless white. Seven could tell that he was holding back tears of his own. It was silent. All they could hear was the creaking of the boat as it shifted in the water. They waited and waited. Seven didn't continue. What happened then? Junpei couldn't wait any longer. He had to know. Seven looked at the floor.
Come on, man. Put yourself in my shoes. It doesn't end good. You think I want to remember that?
Then.
Yeah. Shit. If I'd known it was going to be like this, I almost wish I hadn't remembered.
Seven shook his head. But there was something Junpei had to know. Hey, are you sure?
Huh?
Look, I don't want to ask this either, but there's something I don't get. So if you could just tell me, did that girl, Akane, really? Seven stared straight ahead at nothing.
Yeah, I'm sure. There wasn't anything we could do. After a while, the countdown ended. And we heard something burning.
Even after the fire stopped, they couldn't move. Seven and the boy in the jacket simply stood where they were, frozen. The boy in the uniform collapsed, falling to the floor in a jumble of limbs, like a puppet whose strings had been cut. A few more minutes passed. The door opened. The boy in the uniform ran in, stumbling over his own feet. Seven and the boy in the jacket followed, still too numb to speak. The air in the incinerator was hot. Every breath made Seven's lungs feel like they were on fire. The air shimmered with heat, and in the middle of the room, beneath the waves of heat, there it lay. The boy in the uniform walked toward it, his legs shaking violently. Seven couldn't see his face, but his body looked somehow empty. Finally, he reached it. The boy collapsed to his knees, his legs no longer able to support. I wonder if this is Santa. But would that make Akane Santa's sister? Because he did apparently play the game before. Junpei felt a cold lump form in the pit of his stomach. A feeling of sickening anticipation washed over him. He could feel his body shivering. He desperately did not want to know the answer he feared he knew already, but he had to ask. He had to know for sure. Can I ask you one more thing?
What?
The girl, Akane. What was her last name?
What does it matter to you?
Just tell me, please. Seven looked at Junpei curiously and ran his tongue quickly over his dry lips.
Kurashiki. Her name was Akane Kurashiki.
Something inside of Junpei stopped. He had no more words left. He had no more Junpei left. He was just a shell of flesh and bone. Seven turned to Snake.
You were there that day, weren't you? The tall kid in the jacket. That was you, wasn't it?
Yes, I was. You are correct, Detective.
Damn. So Snake was the one dude. So Snake and Santa were the two. That's what I'm guessing. And Akane, those three were there.
So that would mean that this person is not Akane, though. Then who is June? Unless she did survive and just didn't tell nobody. Somewhere far away, he could hear Seven and Snake talking. Don't misunderstand me. I told you before how Zero threatened me. There was nothing I could do. I couldn't say anything about what happened 9 years ago.
So you're saying you're not working for Zero, right?
Of course not.
Clover? What about you?
Hey, come on. You really think I'm working with Zero? I told you before, you idiot. I was in Nevada in Building Q. I did hear that a detective rescued the kids on the boat, but I didn't know it was you. Her surprise seemed to be genuine. Seven regarded Clover for a moment and rubbed his chin thoughtfully.
Well, I guess I believe you.
Clover nodded.
Alright, let me ask you another question.
He stuck his hands into his pocket and took a few steps. Then he stopped and turned to face them again.
Santa's real name is Aoi Kurashiki.
Yeah.
He's Akane's brother. You know that. You know that?
No, I didn't. Did you? Well, yes. I know Aoi Kurashiki was her brother. But I didn't know he was Santa, at least not from the beginning. 9 years ago, he was in the middle of puberty. His voice is entirely different now. I'm ashamed to say that even my exceptional hearing wasn't able to make that connection. As such, I had no reason to think Santa was Aoi. When did you figure it out? A short time ago, Clover told me that Santa might have been one of the subjects of the initial experiment. When she told me that, I had a feeling. Santa is Aoi? Akane Kurashiki, June's brother? June's brother? That spark caught flame in Junpei's leaden mind, and the fog began to clear. Like an engine beginning to turn, the images and thoughts began to coalesce in his mind, coming faster and faster, forming bigger images, bigger thoughts. Junpei blinked. He was back. There's still a lot we don't know. I mean, like a lot. But there is one thing I think we can say we know.
What's that?
The body we found in the shower room had to be Nijisaki, dressed up to look like Snake.
What?
Come on, man. What kind of a detective are you? You didn't figure that out already?
Hey, go easy on me, man. I just got some memory back, alright? Cut me some slack.
Well, if he is, the three murderers make sense then, don't they? Yeah, that's right, murder. Kubota blew himself up. That was murder too. So why did these murders take place? If Junpei is correct and the body in the shower room was Nijisaki, that means all of the people who were murdered were involved with the creation of the Nonoi project. Kubota, the person who conducted the actual experiments. Nijisaki, Hongo's assistant. Musashido, the man who financed the project. You mean this was all just revenge? Santa is Zero? He's getting revenge for the death of his sister? No. I don't think Santa actually murdered anyone. In fact, Junpei didn't think he knew. He couldn't explain why or how, but he had no doubt that Santa had killed no one. Perhaps the madness of the last several hours was finally driving him insane, but Junpei had ceased to be surprised at his sudden knowledge, and he had even begun to accept it. If I'm right, then it's not hard to figure out who the next victim's gonna be, is it? I'm pretty sure I don't have to tell you. Snake, Clover, and Seven all nodded. The next target will be Gentaro Hongo, the person who planned the Nonoi project. In other words, Ace. There was a moment of silence. And then the room shook. From far away they heard the sudden rush of water.
Whoa, what the hell's going on here?
It must be 6 a.m. Our time is up.
Shit.
Come on. We need to get out of here.
How?
In the drawer that had held the picture was a key card. Junpei grabbed it. I'm betting this sucker opens the exit. Come on. Let's go.
Key card 0. Alright. We gotta get out of here. Swipe the key card.
Junpei, look, it unlocked.
Yeah, now we can go back to the library.
Hurry up, Junpei. We don't have time. Let's go. Alright, let's go. The door opened and they stumbled into the library. The shaking had stopped, but they knew the danger hadn't passed. They ran across the hallway straight for the large metal door. Next to the door was the Uranus card reader. The door rumbled open out of the library and into the hallway they ran. At the end of the hallway was a door. Junpei reached into his pocket to pull out the key as he ran toward it. The key he put into the lock was the Neptune key. He turned it. The lock clicked. As one, they shoved the door open and poured through it. In front of them was another great metal door. Above it was a metal plaque. It read Incinerator. So this is the incinerator.
This is the first time I've seen it from this side, but yeah, I think so.
Then there ought to be a lever near the door. Yeah, right here. Junpei ran up to it. Pull that and the door should open. Got it. As he spoke, he pulled the lever. The motor in the door groaned as it slowly grounded open. There was no time to waste. As soon as the door had opened far enough to admit them, all four dashed through. Then suddenly, there before them, were the four who they'd parted from earlier. Were the four that they parted from earlier. Ace and Lotus stood in front of the number 9 door. Santa was curled into a ball against the wall of the incinerator, holding his stomach. And then there was June. She sat slumped against the wall, exhausted. What had happened? Junpei ran toward June. He skidded to a stop in front of her and knelt down. What's wrong? Are you okay? Her face was pale and her lips dry. When she spoke, he could barely hear her. Jumpy, you came to get me. Of course I did. I made a promise. I'm so glad you're here. So glad. She mumbled the same word over and over. Weakly, Junpei could feel his heart breaking. Hey, what happened to you? I'm fine. I just fainted. I wasn't feeling very good. I'm feeling a lot better now, though. Are you sure? Yeah, I just need to rest a little longer. I'm sure I'll be fine. You shouldn't worry about me. She was looking toward Santa. Junpei turned to look as well. Santa grimaced, his face contorted in pain. Seven grabbed him by the collar and roared at him.
Hey, where is it? Where's the gun? You hide it somewhere.
Despite himself, a grunt of pain escaped Santa's lips as Seven shook him. I don't have it. I got sucker punched and they took the gun. What?
Who took it?
What, isn't that obvious?
I took the gun.
And then he has her yet again.
Ace! He did indeed have the revolver in his hand. It was pressed against Lotus's temple. Ace had her pinned to him with the other arm, and she was shaking visibly. Her fiery attitude was gone, replaced by fear. She didn't dare speak. There was sweat on her forehead, and when her eyes weren't flicking up to the gun pressed against her, they seemed to desperately want to say something.
Just what the hell do you think you're doing, Ace? Or maybe I ought to say Gentaro Hongo, CEO of Cradle Pharmaceutical.
Seven's deep baritone rumble shook the walls. Ace sneered.
You have met me at a disadvantage, and I don't like that. You know me, but I don't know you. Do you have any idea how much I've suffered? Can you even begin to understand my pain? The pain of prosopagnosia, right? Junpei's voice was casual, or at least it was trying to be. Another irritating insect. Now how do you know that? Junpei couldn't say. He just knew another unexplainable mystery.
Yeah, so they're doing that. What the experiment was about, where one group was kind of getting like stuff telepathy to them by the other person, which in turn would probably be me, I guess.
No matter.
And because of the playthroughs I did, Junpei knows stuff.
If you don't want to answer, it makes no difference to me. This is a waste of time anyway. It's time for me to go.
Behind Ace, Junpei could see the red. It was placed in the small indentation on the wall. Quickly, Ace placed his hand on the scanner. It beeped, and he forced Lotus's hand onto it as well. Then at last he reached into the pocket of his jacket. He pulled something out and pressed it against it. The third asterisk appeared on the red. The thing he had used for the final verification was the bracelet with the number 9. It had belonged to the first man to die, Kubota.
I believe I've won this game.
His smirk made Junpei's blood boil.
I've had quite a time playing with you. I must thank Zero, I suppose.
Wait, something about the way he'd spoken. Did Ace not know who Zero was? Junpei's eyes flicked toward Santa. He hadn't moved since they'd entered the room. Santa was still holding his stomach and groaning as if in immense pain. Junpei wasn't sure if it was real pain, but he wasn't sure it wasn't either. What the hell did Santa have up his sleeve this time?
At any rate, this game ends now. I will escape and the rest of you will have a slightly less pleasant ending. I suggest you enjoy your final moments. Goodbye.
Wait! Ace, of course, paid no heed to Seven's request and laid hold of the lever on the red. With a sickening sense of finality, he pulled it. Oh, wait! Is it the number that was inverted? Is it right?
What? Why isn't it opening?
Lotus tried to take advantage of Ace's confusion and managed to twist herself out of his grasp, but at the last second he grabbed hold of her wrist and shoved it onto the red. He waved the number 9 bracelet over the red, and then his own bracelet as well. He pulled the lever a second time.
It's not working.
No! What is this? Why? The digital root should be 9. It has to be 9. Then why? Why isn't it opening?
Ace's fury and confusion had overridden all other thought. He had set down the revolver. It was just below the red. Seven chose that moment to act. He moved far faster than a man of his bulk should have been able to, and he launched that bulk straight at Ace. It was over before they knew it. In the blink of an eye, Ace was on the floor. He rolled onto his side, groaning in pain.
Ah!
Lotus ran straight for Junpei. She darted around behind him and stuck her head out, making sure to keep Junpei between herself and Ace. Phew, that was close. Too close. Thank you, Seven.
Don't mention it.
Seven stood over Ace, his breathing slowly and heavy.
Just one punch ain't enough for this piece of shit. After what he did 9 years ago, I ought to rip him to pieces. But if a suspect can't talk, they ain't much good. Once he's locked up in a cell, we're gonna have a little chat. 9 years ago? Ah, then you must be. Yeah, you finally figured it out.
Dumbass. Ace planted his hands on the floor and shook his head. Ace is the shit. I mean, not Ace 7. Junpei walked toward him. He stopped and looked down at Ace with pity on his face. Ace, you killed Kubota, Nijisaki, and Musashido, didn't you?
Wait, Nijisaki?
He peered at Junpei, genuinely confused. Oh, right. You don't know yet. Alright, we'll just go through them in order then. Let's start off with Kubota. You talked to Kubota and managed to convince him to go into the door 5 alone. You killed him without making it look like you killed him. The way I figured it, you had 4 motives. 1. In the notary game, the number 9 was dangerous. Whoever had the number 9 bracelet could join whatever team they wanted.
Before, Ace was reading these off to me about the 9 bracelet and stuff. Like, Junpei has gotten all of my telepathy to him, pretty much, of playing the game and getting the endings that I've gotten.
You could add 9 to any number and the digital route wouldn't change. In other words, number 9 could do whatever they wanted. Ace had wanted to remove that threat as soon as possible. 2. Ace also wanted to have the number 9 bracelet himself so that he could make use of its power. In fact, he later made use of it in the murder of Nijisaki. 3. Even if his number had been different, Kubota presented a problem for Ace. Kubota had known Ace's past. He knew what had happened 9 years before he told anyone Ace had to silence him. 4. But last, and perhaps most disturbing, Ace had used Kubota as a test. He wanted to know how serious this notary game was. Was it truly life or death, or simply a harmless prank? He convinced Kubota to break the rules so that he might see what happened. That was why you killed Kubota, but he was only the first. Next was Nijisaki. While everyone was off looking for the missing part for the red, you ran into Nijisaki near the big hospital room. However, because of your prosopagnosia, you didn't realize he was Nijisaki. Chiefly because when you met him, he was dressed like Snake. That was why you thought Nijisaki was Snake.
No, that's not... That was Nijisaki? Why? How did...
I'll get to that. Anyway, you thought he was Snake. Snake was one of the kids in your experiment 9 years ago. You remembered him because he was the blind kid, but his presence made you think.
Snake was one of my subjects 9 years ago. He probably hates me. But if that's true, why isn't he saying anything? Is he keeping quiet because he can't see? Or perhaps he's working with Zero to get revenge on me. Whatever the reason, anyone who knows my past is a threat. Before he tries anything, I need to get rid of him. That was when you decided you had to kill him. The murder weapon was Kubota's bracelet. You just waved it over the red. Verified your own number and then grabbed Nijisaki's arm and forced it over the scanner panel. Then when the door opened, you kicked him in. 9 seconds later, the door closed. And then 81 seconds passed. And poor Nijisaki was dead. Then you mean to say Snake is still alive? Sorry to disappoint you, but I'm as good as new. Thank you for killing the wrong man, but I can't say I like knowing that you wanted me dead. Although, to be honest, even if you hadn't tried to kill me, I would still hate you very much. Well, I wouldn't blame you. Ace's self-derision was frustrating, but Junpei kept his emotions in check and continued. Last but not least, let's talk about Musashido's death. When Clover and I were investigating the chart room, you came over to talk to me. Do you remember what you said? Oh, a pocket watch. Might I take a look at this? I handed you the pocket watch and you left the room. Ace had been in charge of the notary project. He would of course have known the solution to every puzzle. It followed then that he knew how to get out of the wheelhouse. All Ace had to do was place the pocket watch in the indentation on the door to unlock it. With the door open, he was able to enter the captain's quarters.
Musashido was there. Next to him was an axe that fairly begged Ace to kill Musashido with it. He picked up the axe and swung it, burying the blade deep in the other man's chest. One blow was all it took. Afterwards, Ace returned to the chart room as though nothing had happened. There was something I wanted to speak with you about, Junpei. Could you come with me for a moment? With no reason not to, Junpei had followed Ace to the wheelhouse. When they reached the wheelhouse, Ace slipped his hand into Junpei's vest. He pulled out a piece of paper, the piece of paper Junpei had used to cheat during the vote. But it wasn't the piece of paper that Ace was after. His true purpose had been to slip the pocket watch into Junpei's pocket. It wasn't a very good plan. It had far too many flaws, and the wrong word of discovery could easily have toppled it. What had made Ace so desperate? That was the only thing Junpei hadn't been able to figure out. Musashido's murder is the only one I don't understand. You obviously did it, but why? Because of this. Slowly, Ace reached down and pulled something out of his pocket. It was a folded piece of paper. Junpei took it and opened it. This was what it said. Number 1. There are 2 ways you might survive this ordeal. The first is to win the nonary game. The second is for you to confess your sins of 9 years past. I have prepared a camera in the captain's quarters. The images captured by that camera will be streamed through a satellite and distributed across the world. Simply look into the camera and repent.
Oh, so he was about to do that. That's why there was a camera in the captain's quarters.
Once you have confessed everything, I will release you from this ship. To make your confessions more credible, I have left you a witness in the captain's quarters. Perhaps you will confess with you. The decision is yours.
Oh, so the big dude was his witness, and the camera was there because he wanted him to confess his sins. 0.
When I awoke in that room on D-Deck, I found that in my pocket. That was why I chose door 1 when we voted. If I went through that door, I knew I could get to the captain's quarters. As you said, I knew how to enter the wheelhouse. My plan was to find the pocket watch before anyone else. If I could, then my alibi would be set. At least that was the plan. Unfortunately for me, you got to it first. That sleight of hand was the best I could manage on short notice.
You meant to kill him from the beginning, then. Musashido, I mean.
I only knew Musashido was the witness after I reached the captain's quarters. I asked him, and he answered. He seemed groggy. Perhaps he had only just awoken from sedation. And I suppose Nijisaki was in much the same state. He seemed confused and disoriented when I encountered him. But yes, you're correct. I intended to kill him from the beginning, even though I didn't know who he was. I proceeded to the captain's quarters in order to remove this so-called witness. Ace had confessed everything. What energy he had left in him with the truth. What energy he had left him with the truth, and he sagged on his knees. Although he had confessed, his sins were not forgiven. Junpei felt revulsion for the pathetic man on the floor near his feet, but in among the revulsion was a hint of pity. After all, Ace had not been the only person who murdered those men. Junpei spoke quietly. Ace, you figured it out, haven't you? You were being manipulated. Yes, so it would seem. I was little more than a puppet in many ways. Everywhere I went, everything was already prepared. The Reds in the large hospital room were dismantled. Nijisaki was dressed like Snake. There was an axe in the captain's quarters. Musashido was delirious from the anesthetic, so he couldn't fight back. Nijisaki as well. In retrospect, I can't understand how I could have fallen into such a simple trap. I'm quite ashamed of myself. But yes, this was a trap. It was Zero's trap, and I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. I did everything he wanted me to do.
Yeah. By manipulating Ace, Zero was able to kill 3 people and keep the blood off his own hands. All of this was revenge for what happened 9 years ago. That's why this nonary game happened. Am I right, Santa? Junpei looked over at Santa. As Junpei spoke, he stood up, his legs still shaky.
Huh? What the hell are you talking about?
I don't know any...
Ain't no point trying to play dumb anymore, Santa. Actually, guess I should call you Aoi Korshiki, huh?
Seven's face was sad as he spoke.
My memory came back, kid. You're Aoi Korshiki, no doubt about it. Never thought I'd be back in this room talking to you. But hey, I guess this was all part of your plan, right? After all, the person who planned the nonary game this time around was Zero. And Zero's you.
Looks like you really do have your memories back, huh? Santa's smile was sarcastic and something else. Well, I guess there's no point in hiding it then, huh? Yeah, you got me. I'm Aoi Korshiki. I was one of the kids in the nonary game 9 years ago. I made it out, so did Snake over there. But there's one thing. No, I guess there's two things you got wrong. Number one, I ain't Zero.
What?
Wait, what? Sure, I was helping Zero out, but I'm really more of an assistant. Like a secretary, but an assistant's only an assistant. I didn't come up with all this. All I did was follow Zero's orders. Then, if you're not Zero, who is? Calm down there, Junpei. Didn't I say two things? You made one more mistake. Junpei, you just said...
He. It's a she. It's June, because the real June is dead. Whoever this sick June is has to be it, right?
All of this was revenge for what happened 9 years ago. That's why this nonary game happened. But that's not it. Revenge isn't the only purpose. There's another reason you guys were playing the nonary game. To save someone. Save someone? Right. You were brought here to help my sister. To save Akane.
What the hell are you talking about? Akane Korshiki died 9 years ago in this room. I was there, I saw.
Suddenly Seven froze. His eyes went as wide as dinner plates and he spun around toward June. Junpei followed his gaze. She's gone. She was gone. Where June had been, there was nothing.
What the hell? Where is she? Where's Akane Korshiki?
Seven began to mumble to himself a strange series of words strung together as if his mind wasn't functioning properly. His face was twisted with effort as though he was struggling with something they couldn't see. He gritted his teeth and pressed his hands against the sides of his head.
Ah, my head! My head! It feels like it's gonna pop! He groaned and fell to his knees.
Seven! What the hell's going on?
I don't know. I swear to God, my head feels like it's about to explode.
From somewhere far away, they all heard a deep, heavy noise. It sounded like a tremendous wheel, slowly beginning to turn. Santa seemed to have entered an almost trance-like state. His words were calm and measured. What was the nonary project? I'm sure you know already, but I'll tell you one more time. It was a project designed to test a particular phenomenon. And what was that phenomena? For two organisms to communicate with one another in the absence of physical contact. The morphogenic field theory. Could human beings use these invisible fields to exchange information? That was what this experiment was conducted to determine. There were two separate locations. One was the Gigantic, and the other was a building in Nevada called Building Q. Building Q had been built to replicate exactly the interior of the Gigantic. The 9 children trapped in Building Q were faced with numerous puzzles, copied of identical ones on the Gigantic. They were told to send their answers into the morphic field set and transmit them to their brothers and sisters on the Gigantic. The transmitters were put in Building Q and the receivers were put on the Gigantic. Each sibling's pair was supposed to be split, but there was a mistake. Akane was a transmitter. She should have been in Building Q, however. For some reason, she was placed on the Gigantic with the receivers like me. Perhaps she was mistaken for someone who was supposed to be in Group A. Whatever the case, Akane ended up on the Gigantic. I think I've told you enough. You get it, don't you? I'm pretty sure you know where this is going, Junpei. Where? What is going? Don't play dumb. You know things you shouldn't. Things you couldn't. How did you know Ace had prosopagnosia? How did you know why Ace wanted to kill Kubota and how Nijisaki was killed? Were you surprised when you found out Ace was Hongo? And what about the coffin Snake was trapped in? How the hell did you open it? Well, that's... The answer to that is easy. He knew because I knew. Junpei was receiving information that I sent him through the morphic field set. It's simple, really. How do I know the alternate futures, then? Imagine a river that splits in two like an upside-down Y. The river flows from the top to the bottom, from a single stream into two branches. It only flows in one direction. It can never flow backwards. Information is the same way. It moves from the past to the future, but never flows backwards. That's why people at the river's source in the past will never know about those downstream in the future. But the people downstream will never know about one another either. Information only flows along the path of the river. But I am different. I can manipulate the morphic field set to pluck knowledge from the future. I know what happens on either fork of the river, even though the people on either fork know nothing about one another. Now, who am I? I am I, the 9th letter of the alphabet. But I am also 0. No, that's not true. I'm not really 0. Not yet. Perhaps you could say I am less than 0. 0 is my future. In 9 years, I will be 0. Where did she go? June. No. Akane. Where did you go? Santa. Why is Clover? Oh shit. Freeze. Santa's got the gun. Guess he picked it up when we weren't watching. Looks like he's turned the tables on Ace. Though, wonder how he likes having a gun to his head. Get up. Sure isn't about to take that gun off him for a minute, is he? Ace isn't putting up any kind of fight. I mean, I don't think I would either, but he just looks drained. I guess he's going for the door, huh? He doesn't need to verify to go through that door, but... What's your plan, Santa? What are you doing? He can't get through any numbered doors with just 2 people. What the hell is he thinking? Didn't I tell you? I'm Santa Claus. It's time for me to go make a wish come true. That's it? That's all he's gonna give us? The hell does that even mean? Shit, they're out. And now the gate's shut. Looks like the rest of us are stuck in here. They're all looking at me. At least Seven's headache is gone. He seems to be alright. Well, I guess there's no harm in trying. Let's see if this door still opens. Damn. Well, it looks like this door isn't opening anytime soon. You mean we're trapped? You mean we're trapped? So it would seem.
The hell is Santa trying to do?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, what?
Have you considered where we are? There can really only be one thing Santa would do. Now. No. No, you can't be serious. Oh, but he is. Shit. We've got to do something. Maybe we can still get out through door 9. There's the red. Yeah, alright. We can do this. I've just gotta... No, it's not gonna work. There's no way. The 5 of us can't open this door. 2... Yeah, it's 8. Is there any combination that'll work? Junpei, can I borrow your pen and notebook? Sure, why not? I don't think I'm going to need them. Ever again. Well, she certainly looks purposeful. Looks like she's writing equations. A lot of them. Huh? Oh, man. She doesn't look very happy. What? Hey, no need to be ripping pages out like that. Jeez.
What the hell are you doing, Clover? Give me that.
Alright, at least 7 got it away from her.